All right, guys. Let's see. This is going to be an impromptu, more of an impromptu review, since I didn't actually have any time to assemble us into a PowerPoint for you guys. But actually, could you hand that manga over to me? It's right next to you. Actually, yeah. Today I will be reviewing this manga in Japanese, Otoyo Metagari, or in English, A Bride's Story. Can you see that? Awesome. Okay. It's the author is Karamori, and her other works are Emma, which is a manga about a maid in I think it was like 19th century England, and she specializes in it seems into a lot of stories centered around females living daily lives. In exotic settings, or exotic for a Japanese perspective anyway. This particular story, it takes place in the Turkish region in Central Asia, between Turkey and Russia, probably Kyrgyzstan or Kazakhstan in present day. Haven't actually figured out the actual name. Probably because it actually doesn't matter to them, because those lines hadn't been drawn at that time. This takes place in the 19th century along the Silk Road. And the story is about, let's see if I can find a good image here. It starts off where the main heroine of the story, named Amir Hagal, she's a 20-year-old woman. And she's married off by her family to another smaller family, and her husband's name Kurluk, and he's 12 years old. In their culture, boys are like 12 years old, 13 years old. They reach manhood and they're eligible for marriage, and beyond that. So this arrangement, of course, she's a lot older than him, but this arrangement is not that unusual. But they understand that this is actually not ideal. Kurluk's family is a small family in a poor area in a distant part of the country, while Amir's family is a little bit bigger, has a little more influence, and they were just trying to marry off their daughters to form alliances, and basically they understand that Kurluk got the shit end of the deal, because he had to wed an older woman for this arrangement, and this whole story is basically about their lives together, working everything out, and the family dynamics going around with the families between Kurluk's family, where the story mainly takes place in his village with his family, and how they accept his new wife into the family, and Amir, going around and showing off what she's capable of. It's interesting in this culture. Everybody in our culture, we assume that all women are basically second-hand, tertiary citizens in all other cultures. But over in their culture, in Central Asia, women, men and women tend to be a little more equal, because their roles are more blended together, because they have to work together to take care of the family. So Amir is actually very skilled. She's very skilled in archery, baking, sewing, that sort of thing. Let me see here if I could get a. Yes, and this is a picture of the front cover. Karamori, her another one of her trademarks is her artwork. The amount of care that she puts in her characters, and a lot in her backgrounds and everything. Tite Kubo from Bleach, she is not. And we'll take a look at the second volume, and that volume is being handed around, if you guys have seen that. So it's basically a slice of life manga taking place in the 19th century in the far corner of the ass of the world. Um, Going back to like the family dynamics and Amir's role, it's interesting to see that Amir isn't supposed to be some sort of subservient wife. When you read through the story, I was actually surprised to see that she's very capable and very competent. You know, she's capable of hunting. Her archery skills are really precise, and you know, it's interesting to see how other cultures work in relation to how they deal with women's issues. You know, the world doesn't treat people the same like the Westerners do. You know. And that's basically it for the story, and just a lot of family dynamics. There's so many pages and pages of this manga devoted to like the daily life, the culture, the food, the everything of the of their world. And in every single panel, the author puts a lot of detail and everything in all of her illustrations. Like, she drew every single one of those little squiggly lines for all the embroidery and the decorations in all the architecture, and that's a trademark of the people in that region. All right, and so she's got her work cut out for them, you know, and all the characters' clothing. Also in all their food. Their food is also fantastic looking. You know, looking at all these Google images, you know, the freaking rugs. The rugs, man, that's like 80% of all the detail here. You know, like I said, she doesn't. There is like no empty space anywhere in any of these manga. It's really impressive how much penmanship she does in this kind of work. Let's see, and let me see. And there seems to be just a little bit of I guess you could call fan service or something, like some partial nudity, but that's, you know, if you could see in some of these pages, but it's very subdued. The way that the author does her nudity is very subdued, and it's very I don't know. It's not it's supposed to be presented to be sexual or anything, you know. And that's a big fresh relief from I don't know how Bleach does it, I guess. There isn't any nudity at all, but there's a lot of there's a lot that leaves nothing to the imagination in a lot of shonen manga. Yes, and more of that crazy artwork. So that's basically it. It's just a very long slice of life manga. It's being published right now by Yen Press, and all the volumes so far are in that hardcover book, which again is very beautiful. When I showed it off to everybody, it's like their thing is like, is that a paperback? No, that's a manga, sir. Go ahead and take a look at it. And let's see, it's up to volume 5 right now, and volume 5 got released this month, as a matter of fact. And I wish I have volume 3 floating around here. That's not as good as the first two, because volume 3 actually centers around another character, another side story, and that's not as interesting or as fantastic as what the other two volumes were. But you know, that's a good enough sample, I suppose, to show what's going on. I also wanted to go on sort of an offshoot about there seems to be a lot of these kind of slice of life mangas, slice of life stories that stories about basically nothing but people doing things. You know, this is basically, I don't know, average looking people doing regular things in Central Asia. Going around, and seems to be kind of a big genre right now, building up in in the manga scene. Uh, and for some people, that seems kind of pointless. They people want to see plot, people actually working and to do things. But kind of like Bleach. But you know what? Bleach has been going up for volumes and volumes. Are they actually accomplishing anything? Would you consider that a slice of life manga since they don't seem to be building up to anything? I'm sorry, I don't mean to rag on Bleach a lot. It's just it's the only whipping boy that I got right now. Switch it for Dragon Ball Z. Switch everything for Dragon Ball Z, and it'll probably sound very much the same. Same sort of complaints. But it's kind of like the same phenomenon going on with sitcoms that we have in America. Excuse me. Like the thing with Seinfeld. It was basically a show. If anyone remembers the show Seinfeld, but with Jerry Seinfeld and those other weird asses, it was a show about nothing, according to their pilot episode. But if you actually watch the show, it wasn't a show about nothing. It was a show about how a comedian gets his material from his everyday life, and then he puts it out, and we see that at the beginning of every episode. Dialing back into manga, I guess these manga really aren't about nothing. It's more about that's volume 4. I actually haven't seen that, and I don't know who those two are. I don't know. Oh, great. We'll see some twins later on. That'll be very fun to look at. But with these kind of stories, and the reason why I'm actually interested in this, because this is all very seems to be like a girly sort of flimsy thing, for a guy like me who is interested in political dynamics and people terrorizing each other and assassinating each other. But it's also interesting to see. This is a manga about cultures, basically, cultures and people, and it's interesting to see how people in other worlds just live out their lives. How much it's different from ours, in some ways, and how similar it is too. The book is able to present things in a way that are relatable to audiences over here. The building love story between Kurluk and Amir, even though there's a huge age difference between them, they do bond, and I don't know. I guess for some people that sort of relationship also tickles a certain fancy of theirs too, Look it up on Google to figure out what the actual name of that fetish is, but the thing about this manga is basically it teleports you to another world, and it allows you to empathize with these people, and expand your mind into other things and possibilities, other groups around the world, and make the world seem more whole. Compared to I guess the emptiness that in your regular lives. I guess that's it for that little aside. Yeah, so Volume 5 is out, and it's sure to look as awesome as any of the things that I've already shown you, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing what else they can come up with. Because I have no idea what else is going on.